Shalom, Kahalo, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai Bahashim Akakwadash, double honors to the apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone, even the elders that came before them that taught us his truth. Shalom and salutations to all the brothers out pushing the word of truth and in sincerity, the full like tabernacle of David. I'm the brother slash elder, Yahshawan. Shalom and salutations to you all. This is the WW3 Daily Update. And this is really weird. And we'll figure out what's going on here. Emergency alert: U.S. B-52 bombers fly to Venezuela. Record-long nuclear code. I remember seeing this when he posted it about 3 days ago. That was weird. But because he posted it 41 minutes ago, I'm like, okay. So that's a sign in the spirit. We know that. Then you got, this is from Wednesday, October 15th. Why is it showing up as 15 minutes old? It's a reload from days ago. And they just go on and on and on. But why did Greg do that? Okay, anyway, we'll get to that. From here, we'll go ruler against ruler. How about that? That's how I get to Jeremiah 51:46. Unless your heart faint, and ye fear for the rumor that shall be heard in the land, a rumor shall both come 1 year, and after that in another year shall come a rumor, and violence in the land, ruler against ruler. All right, let's look at this one. What's this about? Oh, yeah. B-52 bombers fly to Venezuela. For what? Approaching forces. Approaching forces, right? For whatever reason, he posted this from a few days ago. Hey, guess what? Remember this? Approaching forces. Where were we? What did that say? Jeremiah 51:46. But do not panic. Don't be afraid. When you hear the first rumor of approaching forces, well, the first rumor was what? 3 days ago, according to that. For rumors will keep coming year after year. Violence will erupt in the land as leaders fight against each other. Approaching forces, right? Doesn't say anything about war. Right? It says rumors. Rumors of what? Rumors shall come a year of what? Of violence in the land. Where's the war at? Ruler against ruler. Yeah. Is that one guy walking up to the other with his gloves and slapping violence in the land? What is violence in the land? Is that a war? Where's the war at? Well, approaching forces, right, kind of brings it out. Where's that war? Violence in the land, is that domestic violence? Domestic violence in the land, fighting for control of the city. Right? Where's the war at? Okay, fight. One ruler will fight. Okay. Okay, but when you report in the land, okay, violence, fighting. See, it's not, it doesn't get to those forces. What forces? You get to those forces, you talk about a straight up war. See? Anyway, I'm splitting hairs. I was looking. Sometimes you gotta, approaching forces. Let's read that. But not panic. But do not panic. This is Jeremiah 51:46 in the New Living Translation, in the NLT. But do not panic, don't be afraid when you hear the first rumor of approaching forces. What does that mean? That could be the militia. The Michigan militia is marching on whatever. Approaching forces. War. Civil war. ICE. ICE is a bunch of militia and Klan and different organizations of that sort. You think not? Anyway, approaching forces. Okay, we're in the time. That rumor is talking about fame. All you're going to hear about is this. All right, let's hear it.
What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka NY Prepper. It is Wednesday, October 15th, 2025.
Okay, we can just recount that this is days old. So why is he doing this again?
I have an emergency alert to share with you guys. Right now it is 14:45.
A rumor will be heard yesterday, and then the same rumor you're going to hear next week.
Eastern time here in the United States. And we have some major breaking news coming in from Venezuela.
Fame.
So last night,
Fame
3 U.S. B-52 nuclear bombers flew from Louisiana to the southern Caribbean right off the coast of Caracas, the capital of Venezuela. So they took off from Barksdale Air Force Base in Shreveport, which is their home base. That's the home base of the air leg of our nuclear triad here in the United States, Air Force Global Strike Command.
You think Vlad ain't watching this shit? Vlad is like, yep, okay, nigga. Okay, nigga.
And they flew all the way down here to the southern Caribbean, right off the coast of Caracas, guys, and they were doing loops here. There were 3 of them doing loops right off the coast of Caracas.
Provoking much? Threatening?
Sweeten your summer with our most popular...
That's a direct threat. Right? Matthew 24 and 6. Let's get that threat. Right here. Not Bahrain, right here. Where's the threat? Woo! What's that? Matthew 24 and 6 in the NLT. And you will hear of wars and what? And threats of war. Not wars and rumors, but threats of wars. But don't panic. Yes, these things must take place, but it won't follow immediately. That's a direct threat, Salakia, on this. Let's get on that. Get back to the threat here. Threat boy.
So this is extremely concerning. It appeared loops here. There were 3 of them doing loops right off the coast of Caracas. So this is extremely concerning. It appears that the U.S. is now practicing bombing runs on
This is a direct threat,
Venezuela. This is very, very serious. So you can see all 3 of them took off from Barksdale up in Shreveport. They went down through the Gulf of America, passed by Cancun. They made a turn to the east by Jamaica. And then they all started looping right here, okay, right off the coast of Caracas. Look at that, guys.
Provoking.
I don't know if they were trying to send a message to Maduro and...
A message or a threat? I don't think it says message in here anywhere. Matthew 24 and 6 in the NLT. And you will hear of wars and threats of war. That's a direct threat right there. We're hearing of it. He ain't saying that word.
Him, but this is extremely serious, guys. This means that the U.S. is probably going to be using bombers against Venezuela, which means that they're probably going to go for a decapitation strike on the Venezuelan government to take out Maduro and his top generals. And all 3 of the bombers didn't show up on the prior screenshots, but here you can see all 3 of them up in the air. They were losing signal at some point over the Caribbean because it is a pretty remote area, so the signal was kind of spotty. But here you can see all 3. And this afternoon, we have a U.S. presidential doomsday plane up in the air over Nebraska. We also have a nuke sniffer plane up in the air over Nebraska as well. And the nuke sniffer planes detect traces of radiation in the atmosphere. So I don't know if they're expecting some kind of nuclear power plant meltdown in Ukraine or if Russia is going to be testing a nuke soon. And the presidential doomsday plane was flying with its tracker turned off, as you can see here. Okay, you can see that it just appeared on the flight tracker. And these doomsday planes are for the president in the event of a nuclear war or some kind of World War III scenario, an attack on the U.S. The president would get on this plane and command the entire U.S. military, including the nuclear arsenal, from the air. Okay.
Let's stop it right there. I just thought it was interesting that he posted it again. I don't know if I mean, he's watching. He's like, all I got to do is post this again. I don't have to, go live again. I'll just repost it if you're not watching. Thank you, Long. That's what she said. Appreciate the update. This is the update. See? If you understand what he's doing. Excellent report from 3 days ago. He's bringing it back up to date. Maybe there's some movement, right? With respect to them setting up off of Caracas like that. So what we'll do is we'll keep our eye on it. Let's get. Damn, I forgot where that is. Be not. Is that Ciroc? Let's see. Ciroc 5. 5 and 15, right? Yeah. There we go. A Ciroc 5 and 15. Be not ignorant of anything in the great matter of small. So we'll come back to this. We'll keep our eye on it, and we won't be ignorant of it. With that, we hope that the elector edified you, brothers and few sisters. Shalom.